Welcome to episode 355 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller. Over here we talk about Atlanta Falcons and Georgia Southern football. And we're going to talk more Atlanta Falcons stuff because there's been an article out by Jeff Schultz. Once again, I'm not going to put the article up on the screen this time because it's behind a paywall. And no, I haven't paid for the subscription to the Atlantic, which I may need to do so at some point because of this type of content that I do. But nevertheless, I'm almost certain that Jeff Schultz have done a phenomenal job. I mean, we talked about the job that he did with Arthur Smith. It was a great interview with Arthur Smith. So I can't imagine that he's pretty much done the same thing with his breakdown or his article on Deion Jones and possibly why the trade is imminent. And I tend to agree. And I'm going to talk about why and I'm going to give you my thoughts and opinions. And I guess we can discuss about what other people are thinking and why that is relevant, because you know me, I don't really like to talk about too much of the opposite side of a situation, because some of the stuff is actually not really viable to talk about, to say the least. Not really much to talk about when somebody just because, you know, not necessarily putting any thought or any logic behind it when it comes to, you know, building a team. So, but I think it's going to be a really good discussion about this, and hopefully I get you guys feedback as well. If this is your first time here, welcome. This is the First and Frame Rate Show. Once again, I am VF Baller. I am over here on YouTube and Rumble. If you want to listen to the audio side of things, I'm on Anchor, Stitcher, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. And hopefully you guys give me a rating. Let me know how well I'm doing, and if I'm not doing well, give me some feedback. Let me know what I need to do and improve. All the links are down in the description of the podcast avenue or the YouTube or Rumble avenue. Go ahead and check out all my links or any other of the spots where I am available to be reached. All right, let's go ahead and get into this. Deion Jones trade, is it imminent? Maybe. We don't know the future. You know, we're really close to June 1st where, you know, things could change. With him being traded after June 1st, it saves the team money. And based on what I've seen, it looks like it can happen. But we just don't know for sure. I mean, we thought some things that wasn't going to happen end up happening, and vice versa throughout this 2022 alone when it comes to the Falcons. Even though we know now, we never thought that, honestly, Matt Ryan was going to be traded. And we didn't know that the makeup of this team is going to be the way it is. After drafting a few linebackers and bringing some guys in, Deion Jones is as talented as he is. He did not really, you know, hit the mark last year. I'm not going to sit here and say that he fell off or anything, but he did not. To me, it didn't seem like he was an impact player like it was in years past. And it does have, you know, some people, fans or whatever the case may be, scratching their heads about what's going to happen with Deion Jones. Knowing that I think if you release or trade him or something like that after June 1st, I think it's 14 million savings in the cap. I mean, that's pretty huge. That's pretty big, and I can see why that could be an enticing thing to do, especially after you done got Anderson, you got Rashad Evans, and you turn right back around and got D'Angelo Malone. I can see where this is a possibility, because Deion Jones is worth a lot of money right now. I mean, he's going up against a lot against the cap, and moving on from him will save the team money. And I'm not sure if they think that it's going to be a viable option to keep him around and see if he's going to produce at a level that he has before. And there's a possibility that he could, but I'm not really sure if that's going to be the case. And to be quite honest, I'm actually kind of worried about, the falling off of Deion Jones. Did he really fall off? Did he just lose a step? Did he just have a down year? I'm kind of worried about that, because I want to see this guy be successful with this team. I want to see him successful out, but I know with the bigger picture and the way things at coach and, the GM has been talking, they haven't said too much about Deion Jones. They didn't call him by name in certain situations, but they talk about other quarterbacks, but other linebackers by name. So that's really telling. And we know that this is an incentive for the team to, to move on from him. So I'm almost leaning towards the 55, 60% mark that he's going to be traded. To me, I don't think he fits the scheme of what they're trying to do. Bringing in bigger, and more, I guess you could say stronger, linebackers it bodes well for what the scheme is going to be with Dean Pease. And Deion Jones, don't get me wrong, I think he could play, all over the field. I mean, he's a sideline to sideline type of linebacker, but only in certain instances. And with the exotic defenses that Dean Pease is trying to put together, I could see a situation where this could be to the point where he could be on the outside looking in. I think we can use use his abilities, but I understand what's going on. And another thing about it, the fact that I understand what's going on, and the team is actually putting players together to possibly even take, Deion Jones' place or whatever the case may be. I think that's another reason why I don't really worry about it too much, because it's not like we're losing somebody that's not necessarily replaceable, because we drafted and signed a few guys at linebacker. So we're pretty much okay at linebacker. To be honest, I think the defense as a whole, the way it's built now with the players and the personnel, I think that the defense may be the strong point of the Atlanta Falcons this year. We may be a more defensive-minded team. Controlling everything in front of them and making sure nobody, beat them deep. And I don't know how well that's going to work because the safeties are still kind of so-so, but, it is not necessarily an indictment on the entire defense or the team. I mean, I think they may be a little bit better than advertised. Losing Deion Jones would not help that for the most part, but I get it. I get it. But, we'll see how that goes. You would think that Deion Jones could be able to get a decent contract and continue to further on his career with the team. But I just don't know. It to me, it just doesn't feel like he fits. That's just I really feel like he doesn't really fit. Not with what the other guys that are coming in and what they're doing. So I'm really, really worried about that part. So it's going to be interesting. One thing before, since we're, at this point, I'm going to pull up another thing. And I did this earlier. I did this earlier this month, probably about a week ago, 2 weeks ago. I'll pull this up. Let me see if I got it. There it is. Because and this is another thing I forgot, that we signed Nick, Kwiatkowski. We signed him on a 1 year deal. And I put this on my community tab, what people would think. Do I think the Falcons, trade Deion Jones? And what pick can we get for him? 43% said Deion's not getting traded, which is pretty interesting. That's pretty interesting to see, because, I do find that kind of interesting from some of the naysayers of the team, of this team. I think that's a lot of those guys said that they have their attachment to certain players and not necessarily the team. I got that sense. But I wouldn't be surprised if some people who normally watches and listens to this podcast put 43%. I'm kind of more of the mindset that the people who put in third or fourth or fifth or seventh, those are the ones that pretty much have the same logic I have when it comes to talking about the team. And I think that's maybe where this stands now. I think Deion Jones, if he does get traded, I think we can get a fifth to a seventh. You got to understand, we got a third for Matt Ryan. We may get a third for Deion. I don't know. I just feel like with this entire situation, it feels like it's just hard to say. It just feels like the time is pretty much up for Deion. And like I said, I know Jeff Schultz did a pretty good job. I didn't even read it or whatever the case may be, because it's behind a paywall. But it had me thinking, because like I said, 10, 11 days ago, I actually thought about this. And I feel that as well as I think he could play, I think he could be really good for us, honestly. I just don't think that he fits the scheme that they're trying to play or put on the field. And that's one thing that I think that's one thing that a lot of, fans don't get. Just because you just have you have talent at a position, that doesn't mean that you're going to be able to go on any team and you're not just going to go on any team and just say that you're here. Some things just don't fit for you. I mean, like, case in point, and I don't want to go too far back in the weeds. If you guys don't remember Nnamdi Asomugha? Nnamdi was one of the biggest shutdown corners for the Raiders, and when he went over to the Eagles where they played more of a zone, he was lost. So that just because you're talented in one area or in one position, that doesn't mean you're going to be able to play at all times. I mean, that's just how it. I mean, we could discuss that with pretty much any position, on the football field for the most part. Now, just because you're good in one scheme, you may be not so good in another. So I think that's one of the things that's going on with Deion. I think that with Deion Jones, he's a fallen victim to that now Dean Pease and company are probably trying to move on from him. Like I said, I think it's maybe. I think it is. I see both sides of it, and I also think that he's going to be able to be an asset if he stays on the team. Like I said, last year was a down year, whatever the case may be. But I feel that he can still be an asset, but does he fit the scheme they want to run? That's the thing we need to worry about. That's the thing that we need to think about. And I'm not 100% sure. I'm not. And I don't want to sound like I'm going in circles, whatever the case may be. Then I'm going to go ahead and get ready to shut this episode down. But I just don't, I'm not sure. I think that this is a situation here now where once you get all these other linebackers that are here, and then when you find out Nick Kwiatkowski was signed to a 1-year deal, and the coaching staff and the general manager's not really calling Deion by name, it looks like it's a high possibility that it could happen. And I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about it. Maybe you guys already said something down in the comment section, and I'll respond in kind. But I wonder if you guys feel the same way I do. They think that this is going to be this is going to pretty much be the end of the road once June 1st comes. I'm not, I wouldn't be surprised if it happens. This turned out to be a little bit shorter of an episode. I didn't think it was going to, go as long as I thought it would to begin with, but this is one of the shorter ones. There's not much to really say here. If you like this commentary, hit the like button, share this commentary, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Subscribe to any of the podcasts if you haven't already. Share this, send it off to somebody you may know or may not know, or send it to someone to have them to listen to this themselves and let me know. Hopefully they will let me know what they think. And I just think at the end of the day, I feel that this can happen more likely than we think it is. And that'll be one less person down from, the Super Bowl run. And it just goes back to show you, like I was saying, like in the last episode, it's a new era. It's a new era what's going on with the Falcons. It's a new era. So with that being said, we need to, I feel like we should embrace it to see how it goes. I think this is going to be good things. Just because Deion Jones may not be on the team anymore, that doesn't mean we still can't be competitive, because we pretty much bought in 3 or 4 more linebackers to possibly probably to compensate for Deion Jones. Maybe that's been the case all along. So if you like all this commentary, hit the links down in the description. Let me know what you guys think, and give me a 5-star rating on that star chart. Also, if I didn't do as well as I thought I did, let me know in the feedback column of the Podcast Avenue or YouTube and Rumble. I really appreciate y'all. I can't say it enough. I'm going to get up out of here. I will see you guys on Wednesday. We'll have something else to talk about, I'm pretty sure, because the season of football is coming really, really close. So hopefully you guys will stick around, and I'll see you guys on the next one. All right, y'all. Y'all take it easy. Y'all be blessed. Peace.